All right. In previous class, we were discussing about the basics of accounting. Whenever we talk about basics of accounting, as a consultant, we also need to be aware about what exactly we need to aware. It, like I already mentioned, SAP is all about to manage your day-to-day accounting activities, or not only accounting, all your business activities. SAP as a ERP system has the functionality where you can use this SAP system for all your departments or the functions that you use in business. Now, if I want to look into this way, let's say I want to use this for my finance department, where for accounts, I wanted to manage it, the day-to-day transactions and operations that I'm doing it. I want to implement that for my organization. Can I use SAP? Yes. What kind of SAP, what I need to understand for that is FIC. For that reason, business is using or business is continuing their operations. And to support the business, we need to use one or the other ERP system. Here, the ERP system of SAP is going to help the business to manage their day-to-day activities. But SAP is here to support our day-to-day business activities. Not because SAP is there, I wanted to do my business, right? So with that intent, though you are going to become a consultant, we should be good at, or we should at least be aware about it. What is accounting? How to prepare any accounting transaction, how to understand any accounting transaction, how to read all those accounting transactions. Yesterday, what we did, we have listed this many transactions, the business transactions, what business will be doing it, around 20 transactions that we listed. We understood what are the accounts it is going to impact. Then we started preparing journal entries. To write a journal entry, there is something called rules. We need to understand how to write this journal entry, which account will get debit, which account will get credit, right? It's a very basic and a common thing that one should be aware before you start your consulting journey. But still, we just touch based on this yesterday. With the help of golden rules of accounting, we'll be able to write a journal entry. So if you understand what is golden rules of accounting, you can easily write journal entries. Now, yesterday we did this exercise. And also after writing a journal entries, if I go back to our step, what we spoke, accounting cycle. In accounting cycle, the first thing is you have your business transactions. Then from business transactions, you are going to record that as a journal entry. And you analyze and summarize your all transactions or the journal entries into balances. That we call it as a ledger balances or a GL balances. Now I wanted to know what happened throughout the period, throughout the month, year, or whatever. There are a huge number of transactions happened. If I look into the journal entries, I will get lost. I don't know what happened exactly, whether I made a loss or a profit, I don't know. I might have a lot of goods I sold on a credit, I yet to receive money. But looking into my bank balance and the cash balance, I cannot say that whether I'm in a profit or a loss. Still, I need to consider all these transactions as well, the credit transactions also, because you are going to receive money soon. Now, what we need to do is, once you write a journal entry, you need to prepare that journal balances. After that, you are going to prepare a trial balance. We understood yesterday the purpose of trial balance and profit and loss account and a balance sheets. This is my complete accounting cycle that I'm going to follow. Whenever I wanted to perform my business, these are the common things happens in my business. Without ERP system or with ERP system, whatever you use it, this will not get changed. For sure, every business will have transaction. They will write journal entries to understand what happened. Then they need to summarize each and every transaction into GL balance or account balances. Only then they can understand what happened. Then they will prepare a trial balance to check everything recorded or not. Then profit and loss account or income statement to know how much profit or a loss that we incurred or made during that period. Then finally you prepare a balance sheet. Okay. This is a common flow in any business that you consider, whether you are working for a retail industry, whether you are working for a hospital, whether you are working for oil and gas, you are working for a manufacturing company, you are working for a construction company, whatever it may be. This is the same accounting cycle. It is common for everyone. There is no change in that. Everyone agrees? Correct? There is no change in this.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
With that intent, what we did, we have listed some transactions for us to get familiar and understand how it happens. And we have categorized what are the accounts it will impact as per dual entry system or a double entry system. What are the accounts which will have impact, debit side and credit side both. Then we have understood how to write a journal entry with the help of golden rules of accounting. And we have listed all the journal entries here. Then we started preparing one account balance. With the interest of time, like I mentioned yesterday, will not be able to prepare all account balances this way one by one slowly because it takes some time. So I just shown you how to prepare cash account balance. Similarly, you can pick capital account and prepare similar study, what we did yesterday. Those who missed it, you can refer it back the previous class and you will be able to complete that. Now, yesterday, a small correction, what we did here was we missed one transaction here. We supposed to pick one more transaction. We have highlighted, but we missed to add it here. Maybe while I was copy pasting or somehow it was missed it. Later, when I was reconciling, I realized there was one transaction missing. This can happen in real time also. What happens when they miss it, right? So they need to perform a revision of it and they go back and review all the transactions, whether we prepared correctly or not. Whenever we miss such transactions, what happens while you are preparing a trial balance, your trial balance will not agree. Your debit balances versus credit balances, it will not match. There you need to come back and refer all the accounts and figure out where it is missing. Now let's look into that. What is the transaction that is missing? If I look into this overall, let's say credit side, I have 7 transactions. Debit side, I have 3 transactions. Total 10 transactions we have recorded. If I look into this cash we have highlighted yesterday, and if I look into this, how many transactions are there? I'll just select it and tell me how many are there total, whether we are correct or not. This is again cash. The total, I think it is showing only 10 transactions. The one is missing here. Okay. There's a total 11 transactions are there, right? Now here we have only 10 transactions. There was one transaction missing. If I look into this way, that gives me an idea what I am missing, what it is. Now, which transaction was I missing? When I go back and check this, the one which I highlighted in yellow later is the one which was missing. Okay, this commission was missing. Now I need to write this commission. Which side I need to write this commission? Is it a debit balance or a credit balance? Commission received in cash.
Credit.
Balance. Credit.
So cash, the commission, did I receive this or did I pay this commission?
Received.
Received. Is it an incoming for us?
Income.
Cash will increase. When cash increase, what balance cash will have it? When cash is increasing, will it be debit or a credit? Debit. Simple. So also you can see cash is in debit side. Here I have written a journal entry as a cash debit. Simply you need to go into debit side, but you will write to commission. That's it. In a debit side, you need to write as to commission. Simple. 4,000. If I look into this, there is a shortage of 4,000 again. Here I see 1,59,000. Here it is 1,55,000. This 25,000 balance carry forward, I'll delete it. Now the difference is 29,000. If I put that 29,000, now my debit and credit is matching. Now balance forward, cash account has 29,000 as my debit balance. Okay. So that's what I need to do it. Let's say, for example,
Here
cash.
telephone charges missing, sir.
Telephone charges missing. Okay, let us check that. Where is this telephone? Telephone, good that you spotted. Let me see. Telephone actually we paid from the bank. Instead of a cash, we used a bank account directly. When you prepare a bank GL, bank balance, you will be able to track that. So we are using only the cash transactions here. So all the bank transactions you will prepare separately, cash and bank is separate. Okay. What I'll do, maybe I'll prepare my bank account as well. Let's say instead of this, here I'll say instead of cash, I'll say bank account for the month of so and so. That's it. Similarly, what I'll do, all bank transactions, I'll track it here. Let's say quickly. So I'll highlight all the bank transactions. Here there is a bank. Maybe let me use a different color for a bank. Okay. Where else is the bank? Bank. Let's say total transactions from bank is very less. Here there is a one. Okay. And bank. There is one more bank. The bank charges will prepare a separate account, but bank, I have it here. This many transactions. In case we are missing anything, maybe you guys also can help me. So I'll go one page at a time. In this page, we have 1, 2, 3. Anything else that you see as a bank that we are missing? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Until 2000. I'll go all the way down here. No bank. Until sales, we don't have no bank. So bank. Here is only one bank transaction. That's it. Total, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 transactions. Now what you will do, as usual, bank, here is a debit balance. You go to debit side and write cash here. Okay. Say 50,000. Now next transaction that I have here is credit. Bank is accredited and telephone expenses. Okay. So you go to credit side and write telephone expenses. Maybe is it a 500 or 2,000 rupees, I believe. Yes, telephone is 2,000 and bank charges is 500, again credit. So credit, bank charges 500. And I have interest income that I received. That is a debit balance. So 1,000 rupees. This is my bank balance. So bank balance is 51,000, 2,500. The difference is again the same way. You just calculate the difference. 51,000 minus 2,500. Which side it's supposed to go? I'll update in balance carry forward. Okay. Now this will become your balance brought forward for your bank. Balance will be 48,500. It also has a debit balance. Bank also carries. Brought forward is what you see. Side ever is more. That side you just need to take it. Or generally, cash, bank, these are all assets. Assets will carry a debit balances. So it is 48,500. Similarly, you just need to prepare for all these accounts. In case somebody got a chance to prepare the one I shared in the group also, the assignment, if you guys, anybody completed, let me know so that we will quickly refer to that. Let's say cash has a debit balance, or let me say debit, and bank also has a debit, and amount for a bank is 48,500. Okay. For a cash, the balance is 29,000. This way, you just need to prepare all bank balances, all GL account balances, whether it is a debit balance or a credit balance, how much it is finally after preparing this account. This is a summary of all the ledger balances. Now to replace this table, I just prepared all this, my reconciliation. Those who prepared and you have your data available, you guys also can do this one. Okay. So maybe compare your data and let me know those who prepared. We can see that what exactly you got. Maybe let me replace the table that I have here with what I prepared already. Let's say this is the final balances that I prepared. If I look into it, cash has a 29,000, bank has 48,500, capital carries 1 lakh rupees, raw material has a 25,000. Similarly, all these accounts. Okay. I have also highlighted here whether it is a debit or a credit. Let me sort these accounts into debit and credit so that it will be easy for us to see how many are credit balances, how many are debit balances. These many carries credit balance, for example. Okay. So all these carries your debit balance. Okay. Just to give you an idea. Now I understand which account carries which balance, right? Now today, what we will continue from here, if somebody completed, you can also randomly pick one of this account and compare and see. Otherwise, what I would recommend is go back to the same assignment one more time with the same transactions. Try to write your own journal entries the same way. Don't look into the notes. Try to write on your own. Try to understand it. Then start preparing these account balances and prepare this ledger balances. Okay, this way, which will help you to gain that confidence. Now today what we will do, so start with this ledger balances, what I have it here. Okay, so that's what we spoke yesterday. So overall, today what we will do, this ledger balances will prepare the cash transaction that 4,000 missed that we covered, and also will prepare quickly trial balance, profit and loss account and balance sheet as well. Okay, now let's see that. So now this is my ledger balances. After preparing ledger balances, I also need to prepare a trial balance to understand whether did I perform all these correctly or not. Say ledger balances. Now we'll prepare a trial balance here. How do I prepare a trial balance? Anyone recollect? How do we prepare trial balance? It's very simple. You just need to pick all the debit balances and all the credit balances. Simple. Always your trial balance has one formula or a logic. What is that logic that we need to follow for a trial balance whenever we prepare trial balance? What logic it has to follow? Maybe let me put this way here for us to understand. Okay. I'll prepare in this format for you to understand better. Whenever we prepare a trial balance, we need to understand. So always my trial balance will have debits equals to credit. Simple. Your debits has to match with credits. When it matches, when debit equals to credit, which means your trial balance that you prepared is perfectly fine. Now what I do is, I'll just pick all the accounts that we prepared here. You have credit, these are all credit accounts. Take this credit accounts, credit side, and amounts, credit side. Simple. Now similarly, all these accounts, debit side. And this amounts, this side. That's it. Now we know from where these balances are coming, why I'm taking debit side, why I'm taking credit side, right? Everybody clear? Anybody confused? Everybody aware what I'm trying to do here? How do I get this balances?
Yes.
Right. Now let's say, let me say total. Debit side totals is 1,87,000 and credit side total is also 1,87,000. Is this what I was expecting? All the debits equals to credits. Is this matching as I'm expecting? Is my debits are matching with the credits or
Yes.
any difference in this? This is what we need as an accountant. We need to make sure this matches, right? When you are able to bring this debits equals to credit, your trial balance is fine. Generally, in financial accounting, the people who are working as an end user or chartered accountants who review these accounts, what they do generally, during every month end or a year end, they will prepare a trial balance from the ledger balances. In SAP, once you write a journal entry, the manual journal entry that we see here, this has to go as it is. Each and every transaction has to record as a debit and a credit, but you don't need to prepare the GL balances manually. All these GL balances, you just need to run a report in SAP. When you run a report, which will automatically give you the list of all the GL accounts with the balance, whatever you see here, the same way. Okay. We will look into it when we jump into SAP, how to see these GL balances, how to write a journal entry, how to prepare a trial balance, everything we will touch base one by one. But for that, you need to understand now how to prepare manually. Then you can easily compare and test and see system is working fine. Otherwise, when your business users complain stating it is not working as expected, then we don't know how to answer that, right? For that reason, we need to aware how to understand this. Okay. Now, let's say that I prepared a trial balance and it is matching fine. Whenever it is not matching, generally, in general, don't think about any ERP system. Generally, as an accountant, whenever it is not matching, what do we do? What we supposed to do as an accountant, or what accountants will generally do,
Need to check if where the difference is.
right? We need to
Let them-
identify. Mhm. Right. You review and see where it is missing, where the mistake happened. Is it really showing the difference because did I miss any transaction or did I write anything twice or a duplicate entry? Or did I put any type of mistakes? Like let's say instead of putting a bank charges 500, if I put 5,000, obviously it will not match, right? If I look into this debits versus credit, that's a huge difference. I don't know. I will not be able to make out. If I go and search with 4,500 transaction, I don't have any transaction here. None of my transaction has a 4,500 rupees here straight up. You might think, okay, there are two transactions put together might be 4,500. It's a permutation and combination we will try, but still that is not the right answer, right? If I go back, that is a core activity of your business users, what they do. I have just reversing that. Now they will do that research and identify where the mistake happened. When they find out, yes, the bank charges were recorded as 5,000 in a journal entry here. Instead of a 500, they made it as a 5,000. Now, how do I do it? How does this impact? Now, what should I do in general? In general, you need to correct this journal entry, right? Can I go and edit this journal entry generally in any ERP system? Let's say you have written journal entries in a notebook. Generally, what do we do? Do we strike out that 5,000 and write a 500 there instead of 5,000? Is that a right method generally to follow? Or somebody using any other ERP system like a Tally, Oracle, SAP, whatever so far you used as end user, what did you do? Anyone? Whenever we identify this kind of transaction, what do we do? Instead of 500, we entered as a 5,000. Generally, we recommend to create one more entry to correct this. How do I correct? Let's say bank supposed to be 500, but we entered 5,000. Simplest thing to do is reverse this transaction first. Reversal is nothing but you enter opposite side. Now let's say bank charges is debited now. I'll write a opposite journal entry. Maybe I'll write opposite what is debit, it will become credit. Now debit should be bank debit with 5,000 and to bank charges 5,000. That's it. This will become overall zero balance. Both the accounts will become zero and you write a original entry now. The correction entry, the final entry, whatever you're supposed to write, you write that now. Now the same entry, it will become, you write the same entry here. And this time you will enter only 500. Is this correct? Is this okay if I follow this method? This is the one way of doing correction. Okay. This is actually the business requirement. They did a mistake while writing a journal entry. Because of that, they realized journal entries are impacting in their balances here. Now they wanted to understand how to do the correction. What is the best way in doing an ERP system? This is what we are going to understand in our case also. Okay. So what we will do is we'll go back and try to understand how to do this in SAP. Whenever I want to do this in SAP, what is the best practices are used? For them to do it, what is the configuration I as a consultant have to do it? We'll do all that exercise. Okay. Now we have a trial balance here. So far, I understand if something goes wrong, we need to go back. Not we as a consultant, business will go back and make rectification entries or a correction entries. They will post it. For them to post correction entries, we need to understand what are the things required. Only thing we need to remember is what is consultant role whenever there is a correction entries business wanted to post. We'll look into that, how to post, what to post. Okay. So in upcoming classes, you will understand exactly how to do this, all the corrections related to that, what configuration is required, what are the things I should be aware. Okay. Now it will be too early because there is a lot of basic concepts that we should be aware. So let's keep the terminology in mind. Later, when we jump into configuration screens, you will understand that very clearly. We'll come back and link these corrections, whatever the correction that we are talking. Then we'll see that practically how to do that in system when we are doing. Okay. In my accounting cycle, I prepared a journal entries. I prepared my ledger balances. I prepared a trial balance. Now, what I wanted to do, what business would be more interested is they wanted to see how much profit or a loss that I made. How do I prepare profit and loss account? How do we do it generally? We need to prepare P&L account. So profit and loss account, either you can prepare in a column format or in a T format. There are two ways of preparing it. So depending on whatever the format that is interested to you, you can prepare that. Let's say I'll pick up this, say P&L statement or income statement. You can call anything. So I prepared this also. So I just quickly show you with the interest of time. We no need to go through that each and every transaction again and again, but I'll just show you how to prepare it. First, what we'll do, we'll pick, you don't need, I think, both. Okay, so P&L statement, all you need is, let's say you just need two column format. If you are following column format like this, so you need particulars and amount. Maybe let me put that amount here. Okay, but I just need to delete this. Okay, so all we need is the particulars and the amount. Okay. Just see that how to pick that. So first thing what we need to do whenever we start with this, we'll categorize all the incomes. First we'll pick all the revenues or the incomes. From there on, I'll prepare everything. From the incomes, what I'll do, I'll reduce all my expenses. Whatever the income that you made for the year, you just need to reduce your expenses in simple technology, which will give you whether you made a profit or a loss. If your incomes are like, let's say, 1,000 rupees and all the expenses, what you will do, you will say less expenses, maybe here, let's say less your expenses, let's say around 650. Okay. Now it will tell you whether you made a profit or loss. Correct? Can I make out this plus this? If I do it, it gives me positive number 350. If it is a positive, means it is a profit or a loss in this case.
Profit.
It's a profit. It's simple that we can understand whether it is making profit or loss. You look into these two components, what exactly we are doing it. Now what I'll do. So now I'll convert all this into our business transactions, whatever we have at the left side. So far we have done that. You need to consider all your sales. First thing what you need to do is, so you need to pick all your sales or all your sales, whether it is a debit sale or a credit sale and any other incomes that you got it. Total, it will become your total income. Now let's say this not 1,000. Now what is your net sales? You need to pick from the sales account. Sales is 67,000 and any other income that I got it. So I got a commission, I got interest income. These two are also my incomes, correct? So now I have three things as an income. Anything else can I consider as an income here? So far, everything comes from trial balance. You don't need to go beyond trial balance while preparing profit and loss account. Everyone agree? My income is this 67,000. Sorry, net sales is 67,000. Here other income is your commission plus interest that you earned. Interest from bank and commission that from your business. Let's say is instead of some, maybe it is only two items. I'll just straight away add it. That's it. Total I got 67,000 plus 5,000. Total 72,000 is my income. Let me put that way here. My total income is So let's do this. Total income is 72,000 so far. Okay. So now from my total incomes, I need to reduce all my cost that I incurred for the business. That you call it as cost of goods sold. Say less cost of goods sold. Okay. So let me bring this here. All the cost of goods sold. What is my cost of goods sold? So if there is any opening inventory, we'll consider. If there is no opening inventory, then whatever the new purchases that we have done, we'll take all the purchases, whatever purchases we have made. So we have all the raw material that we purchased for 25,000 plus 10,000 together. One is on a credit, one is on a cash basis. Altogether, you need to consider. Now you need to say all the net purchases. Okay. So consider all your net purchases, and you also need to say the closing inventory if there is any. So whatever you purchased versus whatever you sold, the remaining is your closing. Though still have some more inventory with you. Now cost of goods sold is always considered as opening inventory plus purchases minus closing and any cost of goods sold expense that you covered. So let me put this way. These are the things which will involve. Now for that, my opening stock is 0 and purchases total I did is for 35,000. I can see that here 10 plus 25, that is my 35,000. And my closing inventory is around 10,000. Maybe let's say minus 10,000. Okay. So my cost of goods sold, total expenses that I incurred, the total related to goods is around 25,000. If you prepare, you look into that, that will tell you how much it is. This will give me whether I made a total profit or a loss. This is my total expenses, like all your 25,000 where it is coming. If you look into your trial balance, all the expenses, your expenses has a debit balance. Let's say, for example, if I look into this, rent, telephone expenses, salaries that I paid, bank charges that I incurred, depreciation, all these are my total expenses. These expenses put together is 25,000 that I'm putting under costs. If you wanted to know that in detail. Now, this is your total expenses that you incur. Now, what I'll do, I'll just make this as this one. Maybe let me copy this thing. So, the same format here. Total costs. Now it is 50,000. Now, profit or a loss, if you wanted to know, which is a very simple to understand. Now, your total income minus your expenses. That's it. That is what we are doing it. Your total income minus all the expenses will become 22,000 as your net profit. Everyone agrees or any confusion in this one? How do I get profit, whether this is correct or not? Right? Now, once I prepare my trial balance, profit and loss account, I need to know balance sheet, how to prepare a balance sheet. Balance sheet contains what majorly? What does this balance sheet contains? You will have
Majorly
your
of
assets and
assets,
liabilities, right? Assets, liabilities, and equity. And what we will do here is, let me do this way. I'll just add two categories here. Let's say you'll have assets and amount and liabilities and equity this side and amount here. That's what we'll do it. So here under assets, is there any other categories that we generally prepare whenever we prepare assets? What are the major categories that we can see under assets? Generally, we prepare current assets, right? So we need to have a current assets. And similarly, under liabilities, you will also have current liabilities. Agree? And also you will have non-current assets under assets, which is like your fixed assets. Okay. Let me put that here. Okay. And also you will have the right side when you have a current liabilities, you will also have a equity. Your equity, whatever the equity that you are putting in, that we will also see. Equity is a part of your capital, drawings, all those will be part of your equity, including your profit and loss that you made during the year. Okay. Now we need to understand the remaining things. Let's say, what are the things will be part of your current assets? Current assets, when you say current assets, what are the things comes in current assets? Can you guys just try to recollect what is current assets? In definition wise, any asset that can be converted, cash, bank, yes, that can be converted into cash quickly in less than 12 months, which is a highly liquid assets. Okay, cash, bank, and you will have accounts receivable, inventory, raw material, all this will be part of it. Okay, so these are the accounts that we have. If you go back to your trial balance, you will be able to see all this. You have a cash, bank, raw material, inventory, and your customers, all your current assets, including your raw material, whatever you have. Okay, so now if I want to know the breakup, we already have a trial balance there. From the trial balance, you can pick it. And now let's say we know cash has a 29,000, bank has 48,500. Similarly, accounts receivable 12,000, inventory, closing stock 10,000, which we have seen in P&L account. And raw material 25,000. This is my total balance that I have. And if I want to know the total current assets, this is my total current assets value. Now, non-current assets, which are your fixed assets, I want to know what are my fixed assets available here. If I go back to my trial balance, can you identify my fixed asset names here? What and all we have it. There are only two things to make it simple. We haven't used too many. One with 22,500, other one with 10,000. What are those?
Furniture, machinery.
Oh, furniture and machinery we have it. So now values, let me pick the same way, 22,500 and 10,000. Okay, this is my total fixed assets. That's all we have it. Total non-current assets. Okay, so total is 32,500. Okay. Now total assets, if I want to see what is my total assets formula here, my current assets plus my non-current assets. That's it. A plus B. Generally what we do, we'll make a total of this as a this as a B. Here we'll say A plus B. Simple for you to understand better. Okay. My total is, let's say, let me make this in a bold and different color. So this is my totals. Similarly, my liabilities, current liabilities plus equity, or liabilities and equity together has to match with my asset value. My assets equals to liabilities, correct? Or assets equals to liability plus equity. Everyone agrees, right? Now we need to see that whatever we have it, those has to match with this 1,57,000. Now, what are my current liabilities? Similarly, if I go back, my current liabilities are accounts payable. So far we have only accounts payable. We have a two vendors, Amazon and BHEL, right? Now I see this Amazon vendor here, 5,000, BHEL is with a 10,000. That's all my accounts payable. So let me go here. Consider this 5,000 and 10,000. My total of this is 15,000. Okay. Now equity, what and all I have under equity? Capital introduced, profit for the year, whatever the profit we got for the year, that has to be carry forwarded. Now my profit for the year is, let's say, 22,000, right? And you have your drawings and you have a total, and finally you will get what is the total equity. Those are the three things which we have it, right? And we will have, I think somewhere it is gone wrong. What is this? Okay, fine. So there might be some transactions which I'm missing in my final this one. So what you need to make sure, you need to update all the transactions which is a part of this. You just refer to this one, your trial balance, which will give you an idea what are the part of your balance sheet. For that, which I'm going to give you a small exercise by end of this session so that you can understand what exactly you need to understand to prepare these financial statements, how to prepare, what to understand, what is business requirement. Okay, you can refer to that and prepare. Let's say for now, if I wanted to update the equity related information that I have, capital introduced, profit for the year, and also let's say for now I'll consider capital introduced, which is of 1 lakh rupees that we have got it. And the drawings from that you need to reduce, which is a 5,000, right? So let's say drawings. What's this? Drawings, which will reduce your total capital. Total capital will become only 95,000 because you have withdrawn, the owner has withdrawn 5,000 rupees from 1 lakh. Now it will become only 95,000. That's part of your total equity. If I want to take this total so far, there is something is missing still. Let's say sum of all this, which is a 1,10,000. Still there is a something is missing. So the difference is, let's say for example, so 1,57,000 minus 1,10,000, still 47,000 is unanswered. Here we have a profit or loss that we made. Profit or a loss that we made is generally part of your equity. It will go and add to your capital generally. So that you call it as retained earnings. Retained earnings generally has to taken into your balance sheet from profit and loss account. That will be your whatever the profit that we made. In this case, it is a 22,000. Are we updating correctly or am I missing anything here? Looks like
Stock, sir. Closing stock.
closing stock, we are still missing. Closing stock inventory, we have it here as a 10,000. We'll come back. Maybe later we can check what is missing. But let's say retained earnings is your profit that we made. Okay, that I add it directly here. Still, I have a 25,000 shortage on credit side. Sorry, on liability side. What is that 25,000? We need to figure it out. Okay, not to worry much on that now, but always we can come back and refer to this and fix this work. But generally, how do I prepare? The logic is what I need to understand. What is the methodology that we use that I need to understand. Okay, so this way we'll prepare our final balance sheets. And I know there is some clarity why I am sorry. There are some transactions which I need to reconcile. Then this will match. For that, you just need to go back and check where we are missing what it is. Okay, so we don't need to spend too much of time on this to correct all the things because it's not our core activity. But I know what is my balance sheet is all about, what is profit and loss account all about, what is my trial balance, how to prepare it. If I'm aware how to do this, then we are in good position. That's all we need to know. Now what we will do. So with the interest of time, I want you guys to practice this thing so that which will help you to become or to prepare your own balance sheet or any financial statement whenever you want to prepare, right? Now, let's say that whenever you are working on this, let's say we got some idea now how to prepare your balance sheet and all these things, right? Now, what I'll do is here, I just want to give you one more help while preparing this GL account balances, particularly. Let's say now I wanted to know whether this account supposed to have debit balance or a credit balances. What is general phenomena or general characteristic for each and every account? I will list down majority of the accounts that we use, commonly used accounts. Looking into them, you can also understand the similar category, which balance they might have it. Now I'll just put it, the ledger balances. Okay, let's say GL accounts by category. In this, I have already prepared a list. I'll just share here with you so that you can refer to this. Let's say you have your cash account always should have a debit balance. This will be categorized as asset for your balance sheet purpose. Wherever you see asset, that will go to balance sheet. If you want to understand one more, so financial statement, right? Whether it is a balance sheet or a profit and loss account, you can say that here. BS is balance sheet. Now bank again will have a debit balance. All the assets, wherever you see, all these assets will have a debit balance. Simple. All the expenses also will have a debit balance. Simple for you to understand. Assets and expenses will have a debit balance. Equity, liability, revenue, and contra assets also will have a credit balance. Simple. Now all the assets will be part of your balance sheet. All the profit and loss account, the expenses and revenue will be part of your P&L account. Agree? All these expenses. And equity, again, your balance sheet. Liability is also part of your balance sheet. Revenue will be your part of P&L account. Revenue. Contra assets, this will be your balance sheets. That's it. You will have these balances. Whenever you see this or whenever you need this, just refer to this table. Whenever you are preparing any GL balance in your project also, you can easily understand and will be able to confirm whatever the configuration you have done, is that correct or not. Okay, so now let me just put this or extend this same format here. Okay. So it will be helpful whenever you do the configuration. Now you wanted to test and confirm whether your GL accounts are correctly showing or not. Always keep this handy, which will be helpful. Look into any type of account. First, if you are able to make out whether cash, for example, whether it is asset or not. If it is an asset, it should have a debit balance. In simple, all assets will have a debit balance. Expenses also will have a debit balances. And you will have other things like revenue, equity, liabilities will have a credit balance. Look into this. Keep this small table also handy, which will be very easy. In tomorrow, if you find any new account and you understand whether it is an asset or expense, then you can know whether it should have a debit balance or a credit balance. All the things will be part of these 5 major categories, nothing else. Either it should be expense or a revenue, or it could be an asset or a liability or equity. That's all. If you are able to figure out what kind of GL account it is, then it is easy for you to understand the default nature of account, whether it is a debit account or a credit side. If you know this, then you can easily prepare your trial balance. You bring them into debit and credit side. Once you have it, then you can prepare your profit and loss account and balance sheets also very easily. These are your common basic accounting knowledge that we're supposed to know. Now what I'll do is, so you can always go back and refer to this recording one more time and refer to these notes, and you will be able to prepare your own assignment. Now what I want you to do is complete this assignment before you attend the next class. Maybe next class is on the next weekend, right? So what you can do is try to prepare your own assignment with the small list that I'm going to provide you. Prepare your list of at least 20 transactions like what we did. You can pick the same 20 transactions if you wish. Otherwise, change the names and the amounts so that you can see something different. You can put your brain there, right? Instead of copying what I'm doing it. It's still okay if you want to pick the same transactions, but don't look into the journal entries that I have written until you finish. Once you finish, then you can go back and refer whether did I correctly do it or not. Okay, list 20 transactions. Then also you write the journal entries for all those business transactions. From there, you summarize them and prepare financial statements. What are the financial statements I want you to prepare? Minimum trial balance, profit and loss account, and balance sheet. Okay, and after that, once you prepare, that will give you some idea now. What do you mean by financial statements, right? Then you can always go back to your one of the choice of your companies, whatever the company that you like it, go to that company portals or the profiles and check their financial statements. I'll help you today to show you one of one of the company's financial statements similar way. Okay, so we can look into that soon. I want you to take up this as an assignment. I'll just note that point here. So take up this as your assignment, okay, which is going to be helpful for you to do this. Let's say this thing. Maybe let me add this here. I just no border to border. Okay, this is your first assignment, I would say. Okay, which will be very basic. In almost in every classes, you can expect an assignments which is going to be helpful for you to track your journey. Whatever you are learning here, are you going in the right direction or not? Otherwise, what happens? You will not be able to make out whether you are in the right direction or not. Right? For that, you need to go make sure you go through these assignments and make sure you are able to complete it, which is very much important for you, right? So that's always I recommend for you to prepare your or complete your assignments. If you submit, fine. Otherwise, you can always compare and see what is the result that you are expecting. Now, that will help you to track your progress and whether you are in a right direction or not. Now, for you to give a fair idea, what I do is I'll just show you one company financial statements, how to refer to financial statements. For example, let me jump into other screen and show you. All of you are familiar with this, no doubt in that. Okay. Now let's say I wanted to know XYZ company's financial statements. Financial statements of, just say this, financial statements of any company that is publicly listed. Okay. Or which is traded in the stock markets of any country, right? You will be able to see that. Let's say I'll pick one of the Indian company. Anybody wanted to see any particular company, you guys can either type in or say the company name, so that I'll go with that company name.
Tata.
Tata. In Tata, we have a lot of things. When I say Tata, Tata Motors, Tata Steel, Tata Consultancy Services, Tata Group, there are many things. Let's be specific again. In Tata, we'll go with Tata Motors, the first thing, right?
Yes.
Whatever comes in first. The moment I enter the company's name, you always look into their authentic websites first. It is authentic website tatamotors.com with their logo. Okay. In case you are comfortable, you can also go with a money control and other websites. Still, they will also give you the same thing. Click on annual reports. Annual reports are a financial reports, financial statements, something like that. Okay. So go with that. They released this particular one on 24th May 2025. Well, maybe for a this is Indian company, so they are following April to March financial year, right? Everybody understand what is April to March, right? So here are the statements that I have attached. If I go with that, let's say, where can I find my financial statement that I need? It says intimation on tax deduction on dividend, TML subsidiary structure, 18th integrated annual report. This is the report that I need. 80th integrated. Why they are saying 80th? It's been 80 years that they started Tata Motors. Since 80 years, they are releasing financial statements. Okay, go with this, which will tell you it is opening. Let it open. It might contain a lot of pages. You don't need to worry about it. You don't need to go through all the pages. All I need is financial statements. Only 3 pages max. It contains 590 pages of it. Majoritarily, almost all the companies will have something like this. 100, 200, 300. So they will explain about all their products. They will also explain about their history. And they will also explain about the current people, whoever is working, right? All these things will be there. Okay. So you will see about the highlights here. This is the top level information, what you can see. What exactly happened in 2025, right? So they made so much of sales. The group revenue is so much. This is their total revenue, right? So if I go with this, the other information I wanted to know, where can I see their profit and loss account? Here is kind of an index. Under contents, you will find their index and see where is their profit and loss account. Maybe refer to this. Let me see if you guys also find, let me know the page number. Accordingly, we'll jump into that. It says reports. board's report, business responsibility, management discussion, governance, financial statements. Here, from 294 page number, I see financial statements. It says consolidated and standalone both. In case I am interested more of consolidated, I'll go with page number 294. If I need a standalone, I'll go with 419. Let's go with 294. In 294, it gives this information about financial statements. So let me scroll down. When I jump into 294, still I don't see directly, or did I move on to the next page? I think literally this is 294, right? Report on corporate governance. Okay, I don't see directly the final reports here. Looks like there are a lot of statement notes they have given, but let me scroll down and see where do we have that financial statements. Okay, this is about some other information. Okay, here we go. We say consolidated balance sheet. This is one of the statements what you can see. Trial balance you will not be able to find in any financial statements that they publish. The reason is it is their internal information only. Okay, you can expect profit and loss account and balance sheet both. Okay, balance sheet I have it. You can see under balance sheet what is the format they have. They have assets, and under assets they have a non-current assets. Under that they have, different various assets that they are currently own. Then this is major category 1. Under that there is a second major category, current assets. This is non-current assets, this is current assets. Under current assets you again have a subcategories like inventory. One more category is financial assets. Under financial assets you have some more subcategory. This is the structure that I need to understand, high level structure. What do you mean by balance sheet? What does it contain? It contains assets and liabilities and equity. Under assets, we have non-current assets and current assets. Under non-current assets, these are the categories we have. Under current assets, these are the categories we have. And liabilities, this is how it is. If you understand this structure, which is a more than enough. You don't need to worry about the numbers, whether compared to the last year, whether it is good or bad. You don't worry about it. That's not our piece of work. All you need to know, this is a high level skeleton structure that I need to aware. Then here, if I want to compare, I can see as at March 31st, 2025, as at March 31st, 2024, which is prior year. They are comparing with the prior year and see how we are performing. This is called comparative financial statements, comparing with one or the other year, or certain cases more than 1 year also, but majority will compare with immediate year. If I'm preparing quarterly results, it will be with immediate quarter. If I'm preparing a monthly statement, it will be with prior month always. Okay, so as a consultant, we need to understand what do you mean by comparative financial statements, right? That's nothing new. Only thing is one additional column will be added to compare with whatever the period that you want to compare with, whether you need a previous year, previous month, or a previous quarter. Okay, so now you can see consolidated statement of profit and loss. Profit and loss account, what it contains: revenue from operations, what and all income we have. This is a revenue, sales revenue. This is other incomes like your bank interest and any other commission that you got it. If you want to know more about what and all it contains in other income, you go to notes number 35. If you go to note number 35 in the bottom, wherever they mentioned, you'll be able to find more explanation about 35, what it contains. Always in a financial statement, they will also provide a notes. All these are numbering 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. You can see they have explained like a paragraphs. You can understand more about it. Okay. Now, and also they have expenses. All incomes minus expenses is your final. You can see the numberings also they have given. Total income is 1 plus 2. What is 1? 1 is this total revenues from operations. 2 is your other income. 1 plus 2 will become total income. Similarly, expenses. Expenses has group number 4. And here they are saying 3 minus 4 will become your profit before equity accounts, investee, and exceptional items and tax. And you can see profit before tax, and you can also see all other things, EBITDA and everything. You can see it here. Finally, you can see profit for the year, final, whether it is a loss or a profit, you can make in this point finally. This is the profit for that particular years, 25 and 24. And other things, these are all other calculations, which is like your share value and other things they have calculated. Okay. So number of shareholders, they are displaying it. All you need to understand, go to choice of your company and try to pick these financial statements and read at a high level what are the categories that they have under a balance sheet and profit and loss account. That's all I want all of you to gain the knowledge about these financial statements. If you are able to get that knowledge for now, that's more than enough. That is your point number 4 that I want you to get familiar with as part of assignment. Okay. So one second. Okay. So now let's continue with understanding about the project methodologies. Okay. What are the methodologies are used in SAP projects? What is methodology all about? Why we should know? What are the different methodologies available? What are the differences between both of them? What is currently used in majority of the projects? How should I understand? We'll go through that in detail. Okay. Whenever I talk about project methodologies, we will hear something called ASAP methodology and Activate methodology. Okay, there are two methods or two methodologies in any projects that they generally follow. Now, when I say what is ASAP, what is Activate, I'll go in detail about both of them so that it will give you a fair idea what exactly ASAP methodology, what is exactly your Activate methodologies. Okay, let's start with ASAP methodology. ASAP methodology is also called as waterfall methodology. Okay, it's a majority in your software development projects. Whenever we talk about any software development project, people use this waterfall methodology, or also you can call it as ASAP methodology. It is not only for SAP. Though it contains a word SAP here, it is not only for SAP. It is common name that we use ASAP methodology. Wherever we use software developments, it is a common thing. Okay, in that SAP is also one of such software developments that what we do. Under ASAP methodology, what we need to understand, first phase, this ASAP methodology, any company those are implementing, what we need to understand here is it's one methodology where you divide your entire project that you want to deliver to your client into multiple phases. Let's say phase 1, what you do, and the phase 2, then what we do, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5, something like that. Let's understand under ASAP methodology, how many phases are there? What are those? How do I understand? Whenever I talk about the first phase under ASAP methodology is your project preparation. Whenever you are working with any SAP projects for your client, you need to understand about project preparation phase. Okay, this is the common thing again across the world. Any company that you go, any project that you do, any software product you use, this is what we do. Under project preparation, there are certain things which we discuss. What exactly happens under this project preparation is, first thing we need to understand, we need to define project goals under project preparation. So whenever I'm working in ASAP methodology, first phase in this is we start with project preparation. Under that, the main purpose of this to conduct this phase, to go through this phase is to understand what your client wanted to achieve, what your business wanted to achieve, what they wanted to do with SAP. We need to understand that project goals first, and also the scope and strategy for us to do the rest. What is the scope in that project? What is my strategy? How do I achieve it? All that we will discuss. Our client will also explain what they want to do during this phase. This phase will last somewhere like approx, let's say 6 months of time frame. Okay, this is approx 6 months time frame that we spent. So timelines is like, let's say now I wanted to start my project. Maybe think about it. So And we have not yet decided what is the client or to which business that we are working. Later we'll name it. For now, let's say XYZ company wanted to implement SAP. Now whenever they think about it, let's say they thought about this in 1st January 2025. From 2025 January, they thought they wanted to use SAP as their ERP system. When they think about it, that is when they started thinking about it in January 25. Doesn't mean that they will be able to, excuse me, start using SAP from January 25 itself. This takes minimum 2 to 3 years for them to complete all the activities. In a production system, only they can use after 2 to 3 years. Okay. So until then, what we do exactly, that is what we are going to understand in all the phases. We'll go through each and every phase. Depending on a project size, it will go more than that period also. Okay. Now, this 6 months, when I say 6 months until 30th June, for example. Okay, 1st January to 30th June is what this project preparation happens. During this time frame, your clients, your business team will explain about what is their project goal, what they wanted to achieve, right? And then we will also understand as a consultants the scope and what is their strategy to complete all this, right? Then during this phase, we will also do one of the critical activity called, we will also find out the team members. Now I wanted to know, I wanted to implement under the scope, I wanted to implement maybe FICO, and I want to implement SD, I want to implement MM, I want to implement ABAP, I want to implement PP module, and etc. Whatever the module that you want to implement, depending on that, each module has to be handled by consultants. Now you need some consultants from FICO, maybe 1 or 2 people. From SD also you need 1 or 2 people. From MM also you need 1 person. Maybe ABAP also you need 1 person. Altogether, you need to set this team. What we will do in this phase is we will also assign the project team and set up the project environment here. So what do you mean by assigning project team here? I need to find out the people, whoever is going to support, who is the architect, who is senior consultant, who is going to be the junior consultant, the key people. That is what we do in this phase. We set up the team and also the project environment. What is project environment? There is something called system landscape. We'll talk about this project environment, which is a system landscape later. In upcoming class, we'll talk about this system landscape. You will understand very detailed what exactly the system landscape is all about. How does it look like? So what you need to aware about it. During this phase, let's think about it. We are in end-to-end implementation now. Under end-to-end implementation, business thought about it to implement it. Now they will define the goals, scope, strategy, and everything. And also they will define something most important is your project plan, initial project plan. In this project initial plan, they will also prepare the timelines for each and every activity. When to start, when to finish. Let's say I wanted to set this goals and everything within first 1 month. Out of the 6 months, first month, I want to finish all these things. Second month, I will find out my team members. They will go for a hiring. And whenever you go for a hiring, it will contain people who somebody might have a 3 months notice period. Somebody might have a 2 months, somebody might be already serving a notice period, can join immediately. Somebody left a job and they're ready to join whenever you interview. There can be multiple categories. Considering that maximum time frame that they considered. Maximum is like a 3 months notice period, maybe plus or minus 10-15 days they will add it to that and say total 100 days. Within 100 days, we need to finish this project setup. And after that, the system landscape or the project environment to set up, what is the time frame? Maybe another 1 month they will design. So if you consider altogether, like we spent 4 to 5 months so far here, and the remaining time, maybe the rest of the 1 month, we'll also prepare the project charter. Who is going to handle what? Let's say accounts payable, who is responsible? Accounts receivable, who is responsible? Financial statements, who is going to handle it? From project side or the implementation partner side, who is going to handle it? From business side, who is going to be the contact person for that whenever you have any doubt? All that will be clarified and updated here. Project charter, initial project plan, and also we'll start with kickoff meetings. all these kickoff meetings will happen from on-site. Whenever there is a new project happening, so the people will go to on-site and will start delivering everything from on-site. So in project preparation plan particularly, these are the core activities will happen in project preparation. By then, once project preparation is completed, everybody whoever is joining in that project, going to work in that project, will have a clarity what is it going to be, how it is going to be. Okay, so 1 second. Okay, so once we're done with this phase, everybody will have a clarity how this project is going to work, how many people will be working, who is the contact person, everything is set. Then we enter into the another phase of it. So once you're done with this, you know who is going to work, how many people, what is client is expecting, business goals, the project goals. You have full clarity. The picture is open now. Now with that, we'll proceed to the next phase. That is your called, you need to understand in detail about the business. Now, good that you got to know their goals. Now, their goal is to implement SAP, right? But let's say their goal is to implement SAP by 2027. But what is the first thing that I need to do? I need to understand their business. As a consultant, my responsibility to understand their business. Why? Because I'm the one as a consultant going to implement their business in SAP. If I want to implement their SAP, I should know their business, what they are exactly doing, how many vendors they have, how many customers they have, how many countries they are operating, what is their financial year that they wanted to prepare a reports. These are all the basic things, nothing to do with SAP. This is just normal business. You need to know how many currencies they are using, what is the payment methods they are using. Are they using checks? Are they using credit cards? Are they using net bankings? Are they accepting UPI? Or do they accept cash also or not? Do they give an invoice or not? Each and every minute details we need to understand. During this phase, we'll discuss with the business users and we'll gather all the information and we'll document. Each and everything that you discuss has to be documented. That document is also known as business blueprint. So whenever we are working in this project, any implementation project, business blueprint is one of the crucial document that we prepare. This is completely a separate phase that we call it. We call this phase as business blueprint phase. In this phase, what we will do, because of this, we are going to involve or work on various things, different things. Now let's understand various things, what you are going to work out, right? Let's say first thing under business blueprint, first we need to understand actual business requirement, what they have it. And based on the business requirement, now we need to document each and everything. When I say document, you need to record whatever the responses that they give as a part of this discussion about business requirement. As a consultant, we need to document them. So we call that as documenting all the requirement. Okay, business requirement. First you understand and then document their business requirement. Then most importantly, what you need to do, once you document it, we are going to organize this content or the data that we gathered from the business into two separate things. One is currently whatever they are doing it, we need to understand that you call it as is. As it is, you need to prepare first. In your business blueprint document contains two things. One is as is, other one is to be processed. So you need to prepare as is and to be processed. As is, currently whatever your business is working, as it is, you need to document it. In to be processed, you are going to have, let's say, how it is going to implement in SAP system. That to be with a technical information, you as a consultant is going to update in this document. Okay, during this business blueprint phase, we'll do that. Later, we need to identify business process mapped in SAP. If you wanted to divide that, so you need to identify all the business process. If they are using accounts payable, accounts receivable, bank reconciliations, fixed asset process, or any other process that they are following, everything you need to map with SAP process. So that is a responsibility of a consultant. Once you're done with that, your final business blueprint is ready. Final document is ready. Then as a part of that, later you also need to prepare process flow diagrams. How a process flow happens, where it moves data from here to there. From when I start with my invoice processing or when I want to deal with vendors, what is my first step? Maybe I'll negotiate a contract with the vendor first, finalize vendor, then you place an order, then you receive a product, then you make a payment, then you reconcile it. This flow, process flow, we should have a clarity as a consultant, the flow. How do you get this clarity? Whenever you understand from a business while gathering this requirement, you will ask all the questions. They will tell you. With your expertise and knowledge, then you need to understand and prepare that process flow diagrams. For you to prepare that process flow diagram, you need to know how to write the flow charts, right? We might have seen a lot of flow charts in our day-to-day activities. Whatever the nature of work that you are working, you might have seen that process flow diagram. We'll also see that in upcoming classes, how it looks like. During this phase, you will understand once you're done with that, if we are talking about identify business process to be mapped in SAP and also prepare it to be process. What if I'm not able to map certain things? There is some requirement to my client which I cannot directly implement in SAP. That will become a gap. So we call that as a fit gap analysis. We also perform something called a fit gap analysis during this phase. Let's say fit gap analysis, whenever we are performing it, you will understand what are the things that can be implemented, what are the things that cannot be implemented. Either you can also call it gap analysis or fit gap analysis. In your interview also, they will also try to see whether you have a knowledge on a fit gap analysis or not. We'll touch base in our trainings, what exactly it is in detail, how to do it. Here, what happens, whatever can be delivered directly as it is in SAP, we'll say standard solution. Okay, fit to standard. That is called a fit to standard, and you directly implement that. Whatever cannot be directly implemented, we'll call it as gaps. Okay, here under fit gap, we'll also identify those gaps and we need to provide the solutions. How am I going to fill this gap? We'll talk about that all customizations. Whenever you see this fit gap analysis, there is something called a customizations. Customizations comes into picture. How do I do the customization? In your resume, it is one of the critical point. If you say that you have worked on a customizations, your profile will be highly valued. When your profile is missing these customizations, trust me, they will ask you in an interview once again whether you have worked on a customization or not. If you happen to say that, no, I never got this opportunity, never worked, I don't know what it is, don't even expect the further screening rounds. Okay, so that important it is. We are going to touch base on this very deeply about customizations, how to do this. I will bring the live scenarios from the business and I'll also make you to work on these customizations to become more comfortable. By end of our sessions, you should become confident to write some customization documents. You should be able to do customizations in SAP. That is one of the core activity. Wherever you are learning it, you have to learn this topic. Okay, make sure you learn that. That is part of your total business blueprint phase. In this phase, so first phase, we understood what and all high level about the project, who and all the team members will be there. You will also understand what is the timelines for this project, when it will start, when it will end. Everything is discussed here, including the go live, when you are going to go live. All that you will understand. In a business blueprint, you will understand what exactly their business process, what they are working. Can I directly implement that in SAP or not? Does that require any customization? Everything we will discuss here in business blueprint phase. And once we're done with that, the most important thing is we call it as a realization phase. In realization phase, what we'll do, whatever we are learning here, all that knowledge, we'll do it here. We need to implement or do the customization or configuring the system. We need to configure your SAP system based on business blueprint that we prepared. We prepared a business blueprint already here. So we know that what is their business requirement, business process. Here is my business blueprint document that I prepared. From this document, I need to prepare or do the configurations per client requirement. So we'll make all the configurations here, whatever is required as per business blueprint. Nothing you are going to do apart from business blueprint. Whatever is listed, you have to deliver only those things. Though whether it is a easy or a not easy, doesn't matter. There might be something which you felt which is a easy and also helpful to the business. Let me implement, nothing doing. You cannot do that without prior approval. Anything that you want to implement something new or want to configure, you need to get business approval. Only when they say that, yes, please go ahead, then you can do it. Though you feel something is very important feature, helpful feature, you propose it to your client. You propose to the business, tell them, hey, this is what I feel, which is a very helpful in the industry standards or a best practices. I have done this for many clients earlier. It worked very well for them. I believe it might also work for you. When you propose it, they will look into that angle. They might give you approval to go ahead. Only then you can do that. Don't do anything which is not listed in your business blueprint. It's a common thing. Okay. So we are not supposed to do anything which is not part of your business blueprint. If you do something later, they can also question who confirmed that requirement, why you did that. Or as a consultant, that will also help you to debate yourself. If somebody says that you did a wrong, you can go back to your business blueprint and tell them, hey, refer to this. This is what we discussed earlier. This is what I have implemented. Right? And then during this realization phase, what we will do, we will also create organizational data and also the master data. All the major important things, whatever you need to prepare. So all master data and organizational data will prepare it. You need to set that data here. And once we're done with that, what you need to perform as a part of configuration, you need to perform unit testing and also integration testing. The integration testings are called system integration test or SIT. So we'll perform various testings during this phase. Okay. And then most importantly, so all this happens for you to understand all the configuration we do through help of SPRO. Maybe you will get to know this later when I get into SAP screen and show you, you will be able to understand where I do all the configuration. Just remember the key terminologies. We do all the configuration via SPR. Okay. And the most important again in this phase is transport request movement. You'll see this also later. We'll also do the transport request movement. So at this moment, it might be confusing for you to know deep, but high level for you to understand what is transport request. Anything that you configure in SAP, the part of this, whatever you are doing configuration, all that configuration settings will save in the form of transport request. What we will do, we will move this transport request from one environment to other environment to perform various things. If I want to test, I need to move the TR into my quality system and do it. You understand that better when we talk about system landscape. That we have to talk about it, like I mentioned here, system landscape. We'll talk about it in upcoming classes. You understand that later, what is my transport request movement means. These are the first 3 phases of a project. The next phase is like the final preparation of it. The final preparation, what happens? So once you're done with all the configuration, you need to prepare your system for cutover activities. Now, before you start using in a production system, you need to make sure all the cutover activities are completed. And then you can only use go live. Okay. Then your users also will perform user acceptance test. It is also called UAT. So your business will perform UAT and confirm the system is ready and is okay to use. Okay. So once they perform all the testing, it is good for further activities. Then during this phase, what happens? Your end users, whoever is going to use this system, they need to get certain training. So for who performed this UAT then? Maybe the super users or the senior people or the product owners, they perform this testing. And there might be a lot of people, whoever is involved, working in as an entry level, those are like your end users. We need to provide training to them, train end users. As a consultant, you need to help them to get the training, or you need to show them how to work on certain transactions, how to post any journal entry, how to run a report, how to extract something, how to prepare trial balance. They might have a questions. Not necessarily all the time. Whenever they required, you should be ready to help them. For you to train them, you need to aware at least first what it is, how it works. Without knowing, how can you train them? Right? If I want to train you, I should know the system. If I don't know, I can't train you, right? Same way, you also should be aware about the system to train your end users on core activities or the critical activities that they do. You don't need to teach them the configuration. You just need to teach them the end user activities, how to post a journal entry, how to run vendor balance report, how to run any particular a GL account balance, how do I prepare trial balance, how do I prepare profit and loss account? All these business activities, you need to show them in your SAP system how to perform step by step. And you also need to prepare user manuals, which is a training manuals. Training manual you need to prepare and give them so that they can refer. Today you might train one batch of it. Tomorrow some employees will leave. Again, you don't need to train them again, the new people. Or what you can do, simply prepare your training manuals or the materials and keep it ready. Whenever new person comes, tell them, hey, go back and refer to this. In case of any questions, you can come back to me. Okay. You are responsible to prepare. In our training, what I'll do, I'll make you prepare the training manuals, which will be helpful for you to feel that, yes, I can prepare training manuals. I did that in my previous project that you can explain easily to anyone, right? So that's all we need. And you also validate authorization roles here as a consultant. What is authorization roles? Let's say anybody heard about something called SOD. What is SOD? In your roles, in your work, have you heard about this activity, SOD?
No, Narasimha.
No.
Okay. Recollect segregation of duties. Anyone? What is segregation of duties? SOD is nothing but segregation of duties. All of you know about this. Maybe the terminology might be new, but you will recollect, oh, I know this. Okay, let's understand this. Let's say a person, whoever is preparing a check or whoever is preparing a vendor invoice, right? You received certain goods, you ordered certain goods, you received goods and invoice, and you want to make a payment. Now think about it. The person, whoever preparing a check, what if it is the person, same person has the authority to sign as well on the check? Let's say in a corporate companies or a big companies, owner is different, accountant is different. Agree? I'm talking about a business, not about your personal stuff. In your personal thing, you can prepare a check, you can also sign, which means you are the approver. You can approve the check, right? But in a company, accountant is different from your business owner. Agree? There, the person whoever prepare a check should not have authority to sign or authority to approve the check in simple. What happens if there is authority to approve it? Let's say I'm preparing checks in my company. I'm an accountant. My owner is different. My owner is not available for next 1 week. I want to make a payment. Can I sign the check and send it to the bank? Is that allowed generally? On behalf of my manager, can I do it?
Not allowed.
No.
Not allowed, right? This is a control. SOD is a kind of a control. The person, whoever is preparing a check, should not have access to approval. In SAP system, we'll talk about this more with the name of authorization role. Person, whoever supposed to prepare something, they are authorized to prepare check only. There is other person, whoever is authorized to approve is a different. We'll have a different people to perform different activities. Same person should not have this kind of conflicts. The person, whoever is preparing something, should not approve it. Now, let's say in generally in a business, what happens? You are dealing with a lot of vendors. Whenever there is a new vendor onboarded, you need to create vendor master data in SAP system. When you create their vendor master data, what is vendor master data? Vendors master data, which is like their name, address, phone number, email ID, all this important information, including their bank details. There is a one accountant who will create this in a system. As soon as he create, which is not available to use in a production system directly, because it has to be approved by someone else. Why it has to be approved by someone else? Let's say I'm creating vendor master data. All the details are correct except vendor bank details. Instead of vendor bank details, I have given my own details. Is that okay? In the master data, can I give my bank details instead of vendor account details?
No.
No, right? That's a fraud, right? That is where people can enter into the frauds. To avoid this kind of things, what happens? I create a vendor master data. My team leader or my manager will review that and approve whether this record is okay to use or not. Only when he approve, that will get available in a system. This is part of SOD. Accountant can create vendor master data. Only manager can approve it. This accountant should not have approval authority to approve any vendor master data, for example. This is just one example how to understand segregation of duties. All the segregation of duties in SAP is called authorization roles. Okay. So let's say once you log in, you may not have access to certain things in SAP. I'll show you that. Okay. It will tell you you are not authorized to perform this. Okay. So that is authorization roles. In a final preparation phase, we will also decide who's supposed to have access to what. End users, one user supposed to have access to what, other users supposed to have access to what. Okay. So that's what we will decide and discuss all those things. And that is all about your fourth phase of final preparation. After that, what happens? This is going to be the last phase in your ASAP methodology. In ASAP methodology, the fifth phase is all about go live and support. Once you're done with all the final preparation, you need to hand over system to your client for a go live. You say that it is a go live. When it is a go live, they can start using it in production. That is your go live and support. So once it is a go live, they will start using in production system from that day. So what we will do? So whenever we say go live, we are moving the system to production and we will start supporting the users, whatever the issues that they are going to face on day-to-day basis. So during this phase, what happens? We'll monitor all the errors, whatever users are committing or they are getting the errors while performing some activity, they see some errors. It is might be because of the configuration issues, or there might be a requirement they have not shared earlier clearly. It can be anything, but still we are responsible to fix all the errors. You monitor the errors and provide a solution to them. And all this happens first few months. Maybe let's say the go live happened. The go live, maybe we are thinking about this project started in January 25 to June 25, the project preparation started. Then business blueprint might happen another 3 to 4 months. Then after that realization happens. And final preparation will take another 1 month or 2 months. And after that, let's assume that the go live date is like somewhere in 15th December 2026. The next year, December, what they are going for a go live. Okay. From 15th December, we will support for next 2 to 3 months. That period is called hypercare support. All that is a part of your go live and support. Here we call it as hypercare. This hypercare support will be maybe for 2 or 3 months. Depends on how many issues they have it, what are the other things that your business is expecting. You will provide those many months as a support. After hypercare, what happens? Then this project will be moved to support team. Support team, who is supporting? Can be the implementation partner. We've spoken about implementation partner in earlier class. So whenever we look into this implementation partner here, there is something called a support partner. Once you're done with your end-to-end implementation, let's say, for example, Wipro company has implemented for a Walmart and they have done all the implementation. And hypercare also, they are providing it. Once they're done with the hypercare, it will move to support partner. Maybe if Wipro wanted to continue, they need to send one more bidding to Walmart. If Walmart is happy with that bidding that they are quoting, they will go for it. If some other company will bid it, obviously the support will go to other company. If they look for a better pricing, which means the lower pricing and the good quality service, that they will look for it. Then it will move to another partner who will support them. That is called a support partner from there on. Okay. So now this hypercare period is like a 2 to 3 months, and after that it will become a support project. Your support team or a support partner will continue supporting. This is a critical steps which happens in your ASAP methodology. Similarly, we need to understand Activate methodology as well. I will try to help you with a diagram as well. In the next class, I'll show you how it looks like for a representation purpose. So let me see if I can bring that right away, which can help you to see that. Let's see. Where is this? Give me a second. I'll try to bring it. So we'll understand other methodology as well. Along with this ASAP methodology, there is something called Activate methodology. Now, generally, whenever you see this, let's say here is where we are, right? So this is how you can visualize this project. These are the various phases that you can see. This is applicable for both. Kalyan, do you have something to share? Maybe you are trying to share. Okay, this is how you can visualize the project preparation, business blueprint,
Hello.
project realization.
Hello.
Yes.
Sorry to disturb.
Mhm.
This document to be delivered, right?
Sorry,
our
which
group?
document?
This Excel document?
I'll share it like I mentioned earlier with the confirmed participants. Those who are interested to continue, only those will receive, but not in a group. There will be a separate
Okay.
forum where they will receive it.
Right.
All the recordings and the class notes.
Right.
Oh,
Thank you.
yeah. So this is how it looks like, the typical cycle of your methodologies, either ASAP or Activate. Project preparation, it starts here and goes with business blueprint, project realization, and all these phases. Okay. Now we've spoken about so far ASAP methodology. Now let's talk about Activate methodology, right? So now Activate methodology is also famously called as Agile methodologies. Anybody heard about Agile methodologies? Agile so far? Any idea about what is Agile? What is Agile methodologies?
No, nothing.
No one? Okay, no problem. If you are not aware, that's still okay. Not to worry. This is something new that we are learning it now. Whenever we talk about Activate methodology, which is also called as Agile, like I mentioned, which is it's the latest methodologies adopted by a lot of companies. When I say latest, it is more than 20 years. It's been there in industry since 20 years or more. And prior to that, waterfall methodology was one of the known one. Nowadays, majority of the companies prefer to use agile methodologies or Activate methodology. SAP terminology is Activate and agile is general terminology. Wherever you go, you will hear the agile. Okay. So this is the modern implementation methodology for S4HANA projects majority. Okay. What exactly happens? What exactly the changes happens here? Just try to understand. I'll just try to bring a small table here so that you will be able to understand, which contains a multiple phases. It contains more or less the same thing that you see here, the same phases, okay, but slightly renamed, and also slightly the responsibilities will change here. So high level for you to understand. Let me bring that table here, which will make it easy rather than I type one by one. So let's say that first thing is like a discovery phase. There you have seen project preparation phase. Here, the first phase is like your discover phase. Okay. Instead of your project preparation, we call that as discover phase. During this, the purpose is to understand the business value and the solution options that we can provide to our client, to our business. That's a major purpose of it. And the key activities during this phase we deliver is we'll identify the scope and what is the value that we are going to provide to the client. At a high level, we'll understand it here. And then we call it as a prepare phase. During this preparation phase, you will also see here we call as project preparation. So that's where it starts with preparation phase. We set up the project here, exactly the same thing. Project kickoff, team setup, initial landscape, all that happens here. The same thing we did here also, the same thing, right? All these things will do it in preparation phase. And explore phase will have exactly like your business blueprint phase. So it will happen, fit to standard you will understand, and also you will use all the SAP best practices for them. You will identify the gaps. All that happens here, whatever we did. The same thing we do here also. And then realize phase. Realize phase is something exactly the same what you do in realization. Okay. So we'll also do all the configuration and the testings during this phase, and we'll finalize the configuration and all the unit testing, UAT, data migration, whatever you're supposed to do, everything we will complete during realization phase. And the other thing that you need to understand, the deploy phase. If you look into this, the final preparation is your deploy phase, including this, the go live, what you see together. So final preparation and go live together will be here. Okay. And after that, you will run. So you will call this as a 6 phases. Last phase is a run where you will start support and optimize it. It will go with a hypercare and continuous improvement, which will continue in even run phase, which is one of the widely accepted and people will prefer. The most important thing what you need to understand I'll take a separate class on agile. So this may not be sufficient for you to understand, but high level for you to know what is agile. Agile is a methodology, another methodology. What companies would prefer in this agile methodologies, what we do is we will implement, let's say, particularly anything that you wanted to do it. For you to know the major difference between activate and agile, I'll just go with a simple example without giving a more explanation, which will make you more understand. Let's say if you want to deliver one product to customer or your ERP system, what happens now, your go live date here we are talking about, let's say for example 15th December next year. In this ASAP methodology or a waterfall methodology, what happens, your business users will provide you all the business requirement here. Once they finalize the requirement, from here realization phase, it will take approximately 1 year, right, or more than that, until you go for a go live. Until this date, your business will not pitch in, or if they pitch in also, you don't entertain any changes. You can listen to them and tell them, okay, I understand, we'll do that later. Only after the go live, you will do it. So they need to wait until you finish this product. But what happens in activate methodology or agile methodologies, particularly in agile methodology, what happens, the business will provide the requirement and you will start creating a product or start developing your product. When you start developing a product, let's say you are in realization phase can go for a 1 year like we discussed. So let's say it started from when, let's say from 1st of November 2025, we started configuration. By end of November, you will understand how much you completed. Certainly, you cannot complete everything. You just did only small portion of thing. What your business will do, they will ask you, can you show me a demo what you have completed so far? I wanted to see that how it is coming. Obviously, you have to show that. You show them a demo and they will say that, it looks very good, but I want a small change here. You will accept the change. Okay, and let me do it. It might take additional time. You will tell them it needs additional time, but still, okay, you do it. You finish that small change and show me once again. Then they will feel that after the changes, you can see that. Maybe after that, you do one more round of change and say that by 5th December 2025, you show them one more demo. They will understand what exactly it is, right? And then they feel happy. Then you will continue with the rest of the things to do it. Similarly, they might ask you again by 30th December, I want to see one more round what you have done. There, they might propose some more changes. You will accept the changes, you will do it and give it to them. And they can get that opportunity to see the product in between what exactly it is happening. You will also deliver small working product. Now, let's say you ordered and you asked your builder to construct a 5 floors building for you. Whenever you ask for it in here, your waterfall methodology, what happens, you confirm all the requirement and the engineering drawing and everything, including whatever the interiors you need. Only for a housewarming, your builder will invite you. You go just before housewarming and check everything and you go for a housewarming. You might see a lot of surprises when you go for a just before housewarming, right? If you don't see anything prior that, what if there is an opportunity for you, or one more point to know here. Now you felt that there is some corrections required. You are looking for a bigger window in your kitchen. What happens? It is ready for a housewarming. They have done everything, painting and everything is finished. Now you need this correction. So do you think it is easy and good to do it just before housewarming? You have in the next 1 week of time. Will I be able to do all the work easily? Will that be easy, or will that give a little difficult challenges? It will not be easy, right? If I want to do this any correction now at this moment, if I had known this 3 to 4 months prior, it would have been easy. Before I start painting, it would have been easy. It would have saved a lot of time and money, isn't it? That is the disadvantage in our waterfall methodology. Whereas in your agile methodologies, what happens? You will always check. Maybe you will tell that one floor you complete first and give it to me and show me what is the interiors you are putting it, what is the style that you are using for windows, and everything. You will show that in a first month of it. First floor you completed in first 6 months, you will show it to him. And your customer will check and tell you, Arey, I don't need this kind of balcony. I need this kind of windows. I need this kind of interiors. You change this interior colors. I want this kind of roof. I need this kind of POPs. You can explain all those things, whatever you need. And once they give that first floor is ready, which is ready for a housewarming. Literally everything is completed in a first floor, including interior, everything is completed. In waterfall methodology, what happens? They don't do all the interiors and everything for one floor at a time. What they do? All the floors I'll construct first. Then I'll start all interiors at once. All plumbing I'll do at once. But here in agile methodology, what happens? Only I'll focus on only one floor. Whatever you need, everything for a first floor, I'll finish first. I will not do anything for a second floor. Once you are happy and gives approval, first floor looks awesome, or first floor looks good, but in a second floor, I need some changes. Then like this, then always you can make the corrections. You do the corrections, you add those learnings and do the second floor differently by taking this experience. That's what we do in Agile. And that's simple to understand. Now, by looking into this, now you think yourself as a customer, which methodology you prefer, Agile or waterfall methodology? Which one do you prefer more? If there is an option for you to choose one among this. Maybe.
For my understanding, agile methodology is suitable.
You like
since-
agile methodology because there is a lot of flexibility for you whenever you want to make any changes. Certainly, exactly the same thing. All the businesses also look for it because of the advantage they have in agile methodology. They go for it. Okay. Remember this: any project that you are working, you will see this. Okay. So your activate methodology always follows agile methodologies, which allows iterations and sprints. Iteration is nothing but you perform one complete thing for a small set of things, and you will repeat the same thing in next cycle or in next month. Simple. Okay. Where you will see that in upcoming classes whenever we talk about it in clearly. You will understand very clearly the differences. And whenever we go for it, I will also talk about Agile separate class where you will see what exactly Agile means, what you need to understand, all that we will discuss about it. Okay. So the next most important topic in this series for us to understand, when I look into my end-to-end project here, let's say we'll start with, like I mentioned, so there are various types of projects that we are going to learn about it, right? If I see these types of projects that I touch based in yesterday's class, so end-to-end implementation. We'll start with end-to-end implementation, one end-to-end implementation. After that, we'll jump into the support projects, all the things what I need to understand, then and so on, all the projects. Now, what we will do, we'll start with end-to-end implementation project in our training. In our training also, I'll make it exactly the way we work in a project. Okay, we'll follow agile methodology for our training also, and we'll start with end-to-end implementation. In end-to-end implementation, I need to know all these things. Let's say if it is an end-to-end implementation, agile methodology, I'll start with what first thing? I need to start with, this is a waterfall, sorry. And I need to start with the discover phase. In a discover phase, what are the things that I need to do? I need to understand the business. I need to understand the project scope and also what I can deliver. And the preparation phase, we'll also do the project preparation phase. We'll understand what are the things to be do. And we'll also do project kickoff, team setup, initial landscape. What is that initial landscape for us to do it? Together, we'll understand in upcoming class. In the next class, we'll discuss these two things in very clearly as a part of our end-to-end implementation. So particularly the explore and realization is the next steps. These two things can be completed in one class, not to worry on that. And particularly these two will take long time. Minimum 2 to 3 months is what we need to complete these two things. Okay. This is the core activities as a consultant you are going to perform. These are all whatever we are doing until here is for understanding purpose. For you to do these two steps or two things for you to do it, you need to understand these things. Only then you can do. These are the basics for us. Without knowing basics, if you try to jump in, you might be able to complete all the project trading and everything, but you don't know what you want to do, how you want to do. You will lose, you will get lost in the details. Okay. So it will become difficult for you to manage in the project. For that reason, in the next class, what we will do, we'll go in deep about to understand what is discovery phase, what is preparation phase. In that, we'll also understand one business. I'll take one business example. We'll go with that business. What are the things they have in that business? And we'll talk about all this system landscape. What is system landscape? How the teams are set up and what is project kickoff. I will also get some project kickoff templates. We'll also replicate the same thing what happens in projects. We'll do the kickoff meeting in our next session and also we'll continue with the rest of the topic. Most probably in next weekend classes, we'll try to cover these two things and if possible, we'll maybe advance with some more topics that is required for explore phase. Okay, so that's for today. Maybe let me stop here and let me know if you guys have any questions.
This meeting is being recorded.
So whatever we are talking about, let's say particularly whenever you join with certain companies, you might also work for different client. You may not work for the same company. That is called service-based company. Okay, service-based company and product-based company. There are two things. Product-based and service-based. If it is a product-based company, which means you are directly working for the same company. Let's say, for example, one of the company who is implementing SAP on their work, maybe let's say GSK. Okay, GSK is a product-based company. They have their expertise where they can implement SAP for themselves. GSK has own employees who can take care SAP implementation. This is your product based. Okay. If it is a service based, what happens? You will join with a company where you will support to another company. Another company will become your client. Okay. Let's say you join with IBM in this example. Let me add.
Right.
IBM is your company where you are joining. IBM client is, let's say, Nestle. Right. In this case, IBM is an implementation partner. This is your client. Nestle is your client. Okay. So IBM can have a multiple clients. Nestle is one client. Similarly, one more client. They might be working for HUL and they might be working for Walmart. They also might be working for Star Bazaar, right? Or they might be working for Airtel. They might be working for what do you say? Bharat Petroleum, right? And so on. Then IBM might be giving services to many companies. So IBM, if they are providing a service, consulting services to these companies, in that case, we will call that as implementation partner. IBM is an implementation partner and they have these many clients. But other way, GSK is not depending on anybody to implement SAP. They are doing their own implementation. They can manage it. In this case, we call it as in-house consultants. Either you can join in a product-based company or service-based company, but depending on whatever options we get, opportunity you get it, You can also filter your companies while applying for it. What kind of companies you prefer? There are a lot of service-based companies nowadays. One company is providing services to many clients. Or there are some companies who will also support or implement for their work. Was that your question or anything else that you want?
Yeah. I got.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello.
Yes, Kalyan.
Yeah, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
In that round with the client actually.
Mm-hmm.
So in the first stage, like
Mm-hmm.
at the time of business preparation,
Mm-hmm.
we will provide a standard SAP server, right? So that is my confusion.
Mm-hmm.
So why means if they are if there is a greenfield implementation
Mm-hmm.
and we supposed to give that SAP server to them, then how they realize that one? Means how the understanding the process or all thing, because in that activate methodology we give a standard server to check, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is my question. If they doesn't know anything, then how they will check that one?
Oh, you mean to say check in the sense your client, how they can check
Yes, in
what
discovery
is
phase.
there
Yeah.
in discovery phase itself?
Yes.
Discovery phase more to understand between your client versus implementation partner. Let's say that IBM is implementing SAP for Nestle. Okay. Nestle is our IBM client. Let's say we both are working for IBM, you and me. Okay. For some time, we'll assume that when we are working for IBM, sorry, we are working from IBM for a Nestle client, we both will sit and understand. IBM and Nestle will sit and understand the expectations of Nestle. What do you want to implement in SAP? What is your current business process? Why you want to implement SAP? That is all we do in discovery phase. Just to understand the scope of the business. Whether you want to implement for your accounts payable, whether you want to implement for accounts receivable, whether you want to implement for a bank reconciliations, whether you want to implement SAP for your asset accounting, whether you want to implement this for all your manufacturing process, whether you want to implement for your all employee management like a human resources, the time tracking, payroll, salaries, everything to manage. Do you have the requirement or not for everything, or what is your requirement? That IBM has to understand from Nestle. Who will tell that? Only Nestle can tell what is their expectation, what they wanted to do it. That is called discovery phase. That's it. Nothing else. We are not even talking about SAP product to purchase and give it to them so far. That SAP purchase will happen in preparation phase. Until preparation phase, we don't even procure SAP. In preparation phase, we will procure SAP product and then we'll prepare a landscape, system landscape that we will discuss in upcoming class. What is landscape, how to set up that, and how do we understand landscape means, all that comes later. After that, explore phase. Explore phase again, still here we'll discuss very clearly about in P2P or accounts payable, what exactly you are using it. What is your requirement? Can I implement that as it is or not? As a IBM consultant, you are going to tell to Nestle, yes, this is possible. Yes, these many things are possible. These many things are not possible. That we need to tell them as a consultant from IBM side. Then Nestle will accept or they will confirm, okay, this looks good, and these many things, but still I need. You are saying that cannot be implemented directly in SAP. What is the solution for that? That will become your fit to standard analysis. In fit to standard, we will understand how many things can be implemented as it is, how many things cannot be implemented. How many things cannot be implemented will become part of your customization that I told earlier. So that customizations we need to understand what kind of customizations that I need to do it. All those will do it. Okay. So does that clarifies or still, if I understand your question correctly, Kalyan, how does they know when you give a product?
Actually, in that project preparation phase, we
Mhm.
will supposed to give a SAP demo server to the client to check that one. what are their process, what are their scope.
Okay, I understand your point now. Okay. Let me explain you this way. In project preparation phase, if you give a demo system, what happens? Your business is not an expert in how to use the system so far. May not be an expert so far. Okay, there might be few users who used SAP, and most probably they will say that they need their master data to post any transaction. If I want to post one journal entry, let's say, for example, I'll go back to our uh, core basic journal entries that we have written yesterday. So cash to capital journal entry that they want to post in SAP and see how to post this journal entry, right? There should be cash account and capital account to be created in SAP. Who will create this? Your business is not expert in that. We as a consultant need to do all this configuration in demo server. That is called your sandbox. Demo is nothing but a sandbox. We'll talk about the technical terminology later. You sounds like you got some basic idea already, so I'm using the technical jargon, which is a sandbox system that we require. In sandbox system, we as a consultant will do a basic configuration and will give them a demo. This is how you will post a journal entry. This is how final GL balance looks like. This is how you can bring any statement. This is how you can send an invoice to your vendor or your customer. This is how you can create a purchase order to your vendor. All these things we will show them as a consultant to the business. We are responsible to show that. Business do not know how to check in a system directly. We need to give them that training. I think looks okay. I think looks like you rejoined. Did you lose anything there, Kalyan?
Hello, due to the network problem, I missed that one.
Okay, what I was saying. So in a sandbox system, we as a consultant will do all the configuration and you will give a demo to the clients. Client do not know directly how to check all this. Initially, you need to help them as a consultant. They do not check on their own because they don't know anything. There is no sufficient data available initially for them to experiment on a system, right? They need their company code, GL account, all those things to be set up. Only then they can verify. Otherwise, what we can do, whenever you purchase SAP by default, SAP has given some sample data, like some sample company code is available. You can show them this is how company code looks like. You can post a journal entry to the same demo company code, which is already there in SAP. Maybe the 1000 company code, 0001 company code. You pick one of the company code and post a journal entry and show them. That's how it goes well. Does that give you an idea what you are asking for?
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Mhm.
All right. Any other questions?